What's up, guys? I finally remembered to make a video on something that I was doing. So, here we are. Thank you, ADD or ADHD or however many HDs it is. I don't know. It could be 80, could be 90, could be 100 HDs. Anyways, you're probably wondering what the hell's going on here. I just re-greased this gear case. It was full of mud and water. So I've just got this running on my drill press and just getting all the grease circulated through the 3 sets of planetaries. I did make a video. Unfortunately, it was raining and I have no insulation in this shop, so it was extremely loud and difficult to hear what I was saying. So I'm going to try this again because I feel like this could probably help somebody out in the line of doing some electrical work, or really anything, honestly. I mean, this is pretty handy. So if you haven't put 2 and 2 together, I've basically converted a 4-wheeler side-by-side winch into a drill-driven winch. I shortened the motor casing to allow the main shaft to stick out enough to put into a chuck of a drill. And what I did was I opened my vise up just enough to fit the shaft of the motor through, and then I beat the shaft through the windings. That way I could just work with the shaft. So I try to kind of set this up. This is a horrible area to not be able to see what's going on, but anyways, I'll give you a quick run through of it on the vise and at least show you the important stuff that I've done. So the whole idea behind this was to use it as a wire tugger. I've got a big wire tugger, and it works good. It works great, actually. You can pull 500-600 MCM, no problem. The only issue I have is just how big it is, bulky, and it's tough to fit in troughs and such. Now, this thing has already proven itself a little more handy than just pulling wire, but I have done a couple wire pulls prior to fixing a few little issues that I had. So this is it. I'm running 2,500 pound mule tape on it. It's been working well for the pulls that I've done with it, but I'm going to walk you through some things that I've corrected on here. So first off, what the heck happened to the motor? What did you do? Walk me through that. Okay, here we go. So typically the electric motor would be about yay long. So I cut out roughly a 3-inch section, and this shaft here, if I can get this straight, this shaft here is what had all the windings on it. So I set this in the vise without this steel plate, and I'll get to why this steel plate is still on here in a moment. And I basically just started beating on the end until the shaft went all the way through. I had to use a punch to get it through the center of the windings, but anyways, you got to get creative with it. One of my issues I was having is when this is assembled. I'll show you this. They have this sleeve here that doesn't allow the shaft to go any further in, which probably couldn't go far in considering that it butts up against the main shaft on the winch. But anywho, I say on the winch, it's on the spool here. I'll flip this around so you can see it. So this is keyed and it fits right into this groove, and that's what turns your 3 sets of planetaries in here, which in turn reduces the input speed to what the output speed is, which is, I don't know the ratio on it, but it's low. So my issue I was having is that this shaft could now move out the distance of this, because the only thing retaining it was this sleeve that's pressed on, and it would stop against this, I don't want to call it a rotor cap, but brush cap. So I went ahead and tack welded this washer on there to basically keep this shaft from having any play in it at all. And And what would happen is this shaft would come out and then disconnect itself from this coupler. And one time what happened was this coupler, as you can see, fell off of the main shaft in there, and I couldn't get everything lined back up, and I had 11 wires tied onto the end of that mule tape, and it was just a nightmare disassembling this with wires tied on. So I needed to come up with a solution to not have this happen when I'm in the middle of a wire pull. So welding this washer on was that solution. I do think I'm probably going to end up drilling this out and pressing a bushing into it. It got a little bit chewed up because there was some burrs on the shaft, but nothing major. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have this cut down 3 notches so that my drill chucks fit on there and don't slip. I haven't had it slip, but I know that it's just a matter of time before that starts happening, and once it slips once, it starts becoming a common thing. So I'm going to try to avoid that before it ever happens. So we'll get our shaft lined up, and then usually these guys go somewhere around the 11 and 4 o'clock range. And I believe there's a couple sets of those that they'll line up with, but these are the ones that don't have any crap in them, so those are the ones that's going back in. Kind of want to seat that down evenly, a little bit at a time. One weird thing that had happen is that my engage and disengage is now backwards. I'm not sure why. I did take it apart to try to figure that out, and I couldn't figure it out. So it went right back together just as it was, and I just know that it's backwards. This is so much better now that the rain stopped. Eventually I'm gonna insulate this place. Let's see if we got a storage battery, because I know this one's dead. Yes, we do. Let's see what kind of justice this does us. A lot of new grease in there, so things are kind of stiff, but that's pretty much the gist of it. I would like to come off this bed plate and kind of make something that is adjustable to support the drill. That way it's not so much pressure on this end cap here. And I want to do something adjustable because this is a Makita, but I have a few Milwaukees that I use, and I just want to make it as versatile as possible. But I will say this, I know that Warren makes a drill driven winch that you can buy. They're about $700. And the spool only holds 60 feet. I can fit roughly 90 feet of 2,500 pound mule tape on this. I was able to pull a, we'll call it 900 pound John Deere garden tractor up a trailer on 2 flats with it. So I feel like that kind of adds some additional drag over the 900 pounds. Not only was it on 2 flats, but it's a deck over trailer, so it was roughly, I don't know, 3.5 foot in the air. So let's just potentially say that with a drill it can pull 1,000 pounds. So that's still better than the 600 pounds and 60 feet or 700 pounds and 60 feet. And again, I didn't really build it for that. I built it mostly just to pull wire. But it is nice having the option for lugging some other non-running pieces of equipment up on trailers when I'm in a bind and by myself. So that's pretty much it. But this might inspire somebody to make a better version of what I just made. And undoubtedly I'm gonna have to do some other things to it. But for now, it'll work for the pulls that I have to do over the course of the next couple of days at a machine shop that I'm rewiring. So Anyways, I just kind of want to share that, and maybe it'll help somebody else out. Thanks for watching.